Hello everyone. Before we get started with the graffiti update here in Queens, I want to talk to you all about two mass transit related stories, of course, in our borough. The two stories I'm going to talk to you about is an incident that happened last night along the R line, well, the M and the R specifically, and we're also going to talk to you all about my New York State Assemblywoman, Nily Rozic, a Democrat who represents me here in the Fresh Meadows District, that she actually is looking out for us along the Q46. So, I'm going to link these two articles in the description below so you can read it for yourself. I think it's very important that, you want to take a look at it, you read my sources and properly correct. So anyhow, let's get started with the first story. As a man loses 3 limbs after being struck by a train at the Elmhurst Av Union Station last night. So, the limbs that he lost were an arm and 2 legs. And this happened last night. The man, believed to be in his 30s, was struck at the Elmhurst Av Union Station by an R train that was leaving the station, police had said. And I will mention this, that I actually did pass Elmhurst Avenue today when I was transferring at Jackson Heights Roosevelt to get to the Q88 today. And awful to be thinking that I was on the track that the man was on last night. So, a little bit sad to think about that, but more information was the police do not know how the man ended up on the tracks, but criminality is not suspected. He was taken to Elmhurst Hospital in critical condition. At this moment, we do not know the man's name. We do not know if he is in stable condition this afternoon as I'm recording this, but we do not know anything else about this incident other than the emails that we got last night from NYCT. So I'm going to read you all now the emails I got last night from the email notification system. Once again, you have any fan mail, Andrew718pollock@gmail.com is the official van mail address for Andy's Randomness. So, officially sent to the fan mail account, and thankfully this is me signing up, of course. There are extensive delays in service changes in E, F, and R servers because a person was struck by a train at Elmhurst Avenue. This was first sent out at 11:26 p.m. last night, and of course, broken by Jason Anthony Pinero. Pretty much, the email read, there is no southbound E and F service past Forest Hills 71st Avenue into Manhattan. There is reduced northbound E and F service. As an alternative, customers can take the Q32 and Q60 buses. During this time, the Long Island Railroad accommodated MetroCard holders at Penn Station, Woodside, Kew Gardens, and Jamaica. And they did confirm later on in a typo that they were cross-honoring at Forest Hills, and I'll prove it in just a second. Yes, okay, perfect. So this was the typo that they fixed 2 minutes later on. So, originally, they sent this email at 11:26 to, of course, the customers, including me, who are subscribed to the email notification system. And they did send this, and they clarified it later on. Here was the update at 11:44. They clarified the information during the evening. They also mentioned that there was no service at Court Square 23rd Street and 21st Street Queensbridge. Now, the other issue I have with them not communicating properly was if people were stranded at Q21, 21st Street Queensbridge, sorry for saying Q21, wow, my mind's just off. At Queensbridge, if you were stranded, you could have just taken the Q66 bus and then connect with the 7 train. That's what I would have told people at 21st Street. I would have said, you know what, if you need to go to Flushing, you can take the 66 to Flushing, or you can take the 66 southbound on 21st Street, and then take it to Queens Plaza, or Queensboro Plaza, excuse me, and then just take the 7 train westbound, because the 7 wasn't affected during this. So they sent another email. I have to admit, the railroad, thank goodness the LIRR was cross-honoring last night, because they weren't. That would be a disaster. Now, I'll mention something right now. Passengers United was on the scene at Suffolk and Archer last night, and it was a madhouse last night. People were crowding onto the Q60 bus, and I heard reports that there was almost rioting. There was almost rioting last night. It almost ended up people getting into a confrontation because they wanted to get on board the bus. Alright, so last email I got about this was at 12:36 a.m. I'll mention that Matt Camper was live streaming and I was contributing last night, in case you didn't see me in the comments, because I'm one of the moderators. But they did send out this email at 12:36 a.m. last night. Well, the wee hours of the morning, if you want to call it, for this morning, April 30th. And I quote, "E&Fs have resumed regular service in both directions after somebody was struck by a train at Elmhurst Av. Continue to expect extensive delays as we get trains back on schedule." And I also mentioned this, that the R train does not run overnight. So, they just stopped the R service at midnight. And the M wasn't available for overnight service. So, obviously that's why you didn't have that issue with the R in the wee hours in the morning. But they were able to resume service within about an hour and a half. So, thank goodness they were able to do that. Alrighty, now we will get to this other story about the MTA, that they're changing course on 2 bus routes that serve Queens. So we'll now read the article. Assemblywoman Nily Rozic, who represents Fresh Meadows, Democrat, announced on Monday that service will be restored to the Q46 and Q44 bus routes after reaching an agreement with the MTA and New York City Transit. I'm not going to read her quote. I'll mention that funding for the changes will come from the Outer Borough Transit Fund secured by legislators and will have no impact on the 2020 MTA budget. There will be no longer service cuts on both the Q46 and Q44 after Assemblywoman Rozic had expressed her opposition to service adjustments in January to the Q46 route, which primarily runs along Union Turnpike from the Queens Boulevard Union Turnpike E&F train station to either Glen Oaks 260th Street or Long Island Jewish Medical Center. The NYCT decreased Q46 service by reallocating a number of trips to the local AM/PM peak hours from the limited service. According to Assemblywoman Rozic, following the cuts, constituents had complained of lengthy delays and wait times along the Q46, which primarily run along Union Turnpike through Kew Gardens, Hillcrest, Fresh Meadows, Flushing, Jamaica, Oakland Gardens, Glen Oaks, and Floral Park. And, of course, New Hyde Park, where the route goes to and from Long Island Jewish Medical Center. Exactly, and I agree. I agree with her. Outer borough transit riders must be a priority, and sadly, at the New York City Transit Authority, that doesn't seem to be the case. Now, as far as the 44, we don't know what that was supposed to be about. But once again, Q44 Select Bus goes between the Bronx Zoo and goes to the Jamaica Long Island Railroad train station. So, Daryl Irick actually said, the president of New York City Bus, they are pleased to be able to provide additional bus service along Main Street and Union Turnpike. So, I wonder how this is going to affect the schedule. That's what I'm wondering. So, pretty much as long as there's no service cuts for off-peak buses, which impact me, thank you, Assemblywoman Nily Rozic. It proves that she cares about us in a way. So I know I've made this segment a little bit long, but it had to be discussed because I have these stories that need to be added last minute. So now we will go to the properly edited graffiti update video for today. Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to give you all an update about Queens finally getting their act together on graffiti. We are now on Union Turnpike approaching Springfield Boulevard. And a couple weeks ago, if you remember in a different video, there was graffiti by the bar. And we are approaching momentarily the scene of the incident because there is some good news. The 105 precinct, believe it or not, and I found this out, got a report about the vandalized property, and it got cleaned up. So now we are approaching the building on the right. So here it is. And look, folks, it is gone. And you know who to thank for this. The 105 police precincts. So thank you for looking into it, because I found out online somebody reported it to them, and the owner of Staunton's, believe it or not, reached out too, and they were able to clean it up. So that's why I've been told from my sources.
A few moments later.
Alright folks, we're now on Queens Boulevard, and unfortunately this is what the 110 or the 112 has to deal with. And you know, this Graffiti guy, whoever he is, he just can't be stopped. I mean, thank goodness the Parks Department, they did something about it last month when I talked about it at the fountain. But yeah, it's here folks, it's back. Right back on Queens Boulevard. Can't make this stuff up. You literally cannot make this stuff up. And again, very unacceptable when you have the courthouse, you have this nice, beautiful area by the borough president's office, and especially how down the street they're thinking about building the homeless shelter. And you have all these hotels opening up. Comfort Inn's right down the street. This neighborhood deserves better. It really does. I'm sick of it already. I really am sick of it.
Much later.
Alright everyone, we are now on 73rd Avenue by 185th Street, aka right near Ground Box by 184th Street. They have cones up here, so that's pretty good. We're going to have to hurry up because I need to cross and show you the graffiti before we get to the wall segment. So we will cross the street later on to do the wall segment. But anyhow, I have good news, folks. The 107 cleaned up the graffiti! Yay! So here's what they did. I bet what they did was they resprayed this. It's a little bit peeling, but it's certainly better than it was before with that stupid G-Man thing. It's been here for a year. So what they did was they put the, I don't know what this color is, but it's a brighter green. It's a brighter green. So I'm gonna give them credit that they did that. And then I don't know why they taped this up, but it's for a good reason, I guess. I mean, I'm the one who reported it to them. So once again, I want to thank Inspector Officer Scott Henry from 107 for taking a look into this. He heard my concern. He had another officer, Officer Brian Wilkin, I think his name is. I forget the name at the moment, but we'll just call him Officer Wilkin. Officer Wilkin has been cleaning up graffiti in the 107, so I'll leave the Twitter handle in the description below, and I'll bring up the graffiti in the rant later on, because that's going to have a lot to do with the Homeowners Association meeting later tonight. But something else I've noticed since I came back. This wasn't here before. I wonder who put this here. Because this wasn't here 2 or 3 weeks ago. I didn't see this. It's on that side of the street too. I don't see it on the other side, so that's okay. Before I turn back, I want to show you the challenge tree limb. It's still here, unfortunately. But thankfully, the good news is people can still park. That's the main thing. You still have the parking spot. It's very important to have this parking spot here. So, this guy who has the Mazda, I gotta give him credit. Because even though his tires are near the bike lane, he was able to make sure that his tires didn't get punctured by the tree limb. So that's pretty good. Unfortunately, we're stuck with this, but as long as the parking spot is open, that's the main priority. Because again, parking is very scarce around here. Especially again with the multi-family housing units that are being built around here. So that's why I'm going to go to the wall next. So next up will be the wall segment about the Fresh Meadows Homeowners Association meeting taking place later tonight. So stay tuned for more. Alright everyone, so hopefully this video should be up in time for people to watch before tonight, which is the 30th here in Fresh Meadows. We will be having the Homeowners Association. Unfortunately, I cannot attend tonight because I have to get ready to go back to work tomorrow because my Long Island Jewish vacation ends tomorrow, so obviously I can't be in 2 places at once because I have to be at work on time. But if you are in the area, going home, or maybe you live in Queens, you have concerns about Fresh Meadows in general, it'll be tonight at 7. It'll be at 6446 Utopia Parkway at the Utopia Jewish Center. Now, the issues they're going to talk about tonight, the 2 main things is, again, illegal housing. Now, what's going on in this area is very alarming, that we have multifamily units being illegally converted. And honestly, that's not right. That's illegal. I don't know why the city is letting this even happen on their watch. It's probably because, again, de Blasio is just letting it happen. And again, if Bloomberg, I'll mention Bloomberg. Bloomberg didn't let this happen. Bloomberg didn't let multifamily units get illegally built. Same with Giuliani. Giuliani didn't do the same thing. Now this de Blasio guy gets in. And literally, I'm seeing all these multifamily houses being built in this area. I am, for one, very angry about that. Very angry. And again, I'm a concerned citizen, all right? I have been in this neighborhood now for 14 years. 14 years, all right? And next year will be 15 in February. And I'm very annoyed that I'm seeing all this stuff happening. In fact, a lot of the other residential streets, I'm noticing that a lot of trash is piling up. In fact, this morning, I'm heading over to get the bus with my dad, and see trash laying all over the place. It's disgusting. And I'll mention that maybe it's the families, maybe it's homeless, I don't know. Maybe it's scavengers. We've been having a lot of them recently. They're going through everyone's trash, including my parents' trash. And I'm very annoyed, and it's happening at night. And the worst part is, we have people 11 to 12 o'clock at night, they're freaking having loud conversations in the residential areas. They're dropping off passengers, and I bet it's one of my neighbors. They're having loud conversations late at night. People are trying to sleep. Or, in my case, I'm trying to have a nice, relaxing evening, trying to fall asleep and watch, I'm going to call it Piney News LI, because that's what John's channel should be these days. Because, honestly, I'm getting annoyed with the local media. And, honestly, I'm watching these stories that, again, the mainstream media won't even cover because they're too fascinated with the president. That's not the point. I'm seeing a lot of changing things going on around here. The graffiti, thankfully, it's getting cleaned up. Thank you, 107. But the main thing is, and this is what I'm annoyed about too, is that, you're overpopulating this area. That's the problem. We already have the hotels by Utopia Parkway. And I'm annoyed about that as it is. But, What I really get annoyed about is the traffic here on 73rd Avenue. That's the problem I have today. Literally, I'm seeing so many cars go westbound today. Because you know why? The Mets are at home tonight. This is all the extra Citi Field traffic going to tailgate. Probably all that extra traffic. Or, again, it's probably all the LIE traffic. I don't even know if there's an event at Madison Square Garden at Barclays tonight. I don't even know. I know the Islanders, even if the Islanders have a Game 5 wouldn't be till Sunday. So, literally, I'm seeing so much traffic. I've never seen this much traffic since I moved to this neighborhood. It's gotten worse in the past 2 years. Again, why don't people just take the Q17, go to Flushing? Again, you have two options. You can take the Q48 to Willard's Point, or you can take the 7 train. You have two options. We want to drive our cars. We have money. And again, in order to have property, and again, this is an upper middle class area, and I showed you this last year, you at least need to have $90,000 to $100,000 a year just to avoid this area. And literally, the average property tax rate is $10,000 now. When we first moved here, it was near $8,000. Our property taxes have gone up by nearly $3,000 since we moved here. And that's the reason why me and my folks didn't want to move to Long Island, because the property tax rate was cheap. Giuliani and Bloomberg originally cut our taxes. And then I have to blame the state in a way. I would say since Cuomo came in, the state tax is what's really driven our city taxes too. That's what really bothers me. And I'm sorry to say this, but I really wish David Paterson was still our governor. Because at least Paterson was a decent governor. I have to admit that. David Paterson was a decent governor. He wasn't great, but certainly a whole lot better than stupid Cuomo is. I'm sorry to bring him up. I'm riled up. I'm riled up because, again, I really wish I can give my thoughts about this illegal home conversion thing, because I'm annoyed about this. Literally, there's a house right down there, illegally converted for a multifamily unit. Another home right there, right where I'm standing, another multifamily unit. How in the world is the city letting this happen? So if you're a homeowner, you've been here all your life, please consider going to the homeowners meeting and talk about this. Because again, I know I'm looking forward to talking about Cunningham Park in just a sec. But honestly, the graffiti is one thing. The illegal homes have to be bought up. I'm sorry, they have to be bought up. Because I am very annoyed that it's probably one of the reasons why the traffic's gotten worse. Probably one of the reasons why. And I'm sorry, but again, I am getting really impatient about congestion pricing. Why isn't it implemented yet? Why do we have to wait 2 long years for congestion pricing to start? Literally, I'm in Manhattan today. I'm on 7th Avenue by 16th Street. Literally, every other street. 5th Avenue, 6th Avenue, it was okay. I get to 7th Avenue, it's a gridlock. It's a disaster. So again, I'm antsy about congestion pricing. I want it to start now, right? Again, you're going to make people learn through their wallets. That's the only way you're going to convince people to stop making the traffic worse. You are literally making the traffic worse by just putting a car out there. And again, you're also contributing to the ozone effect, greenhouse gases. You know, I'm very annoyed that we get humid summers around here lately. And I'm not looking forward to this summer. I'm not. It's going to be another miserable summer where I'm going to have to deal with another poor, muggy, miserable 3 months. Maybe even be this month for all we know. Thankfully, it's not going to get warm for another week or two. Thankfully not. But again, that's probably why the traffic's getting worse. Not just here in Fresh Meadows. I think also with the multifamily units in Queens, they have to stop. They have to stop. I hope a lot of people will side with me on this. And they'll say, enough with the illegal multifamily conversions. It needs to stop. It needs to stop. And thankfully, they're still around, and they still have cars, and they want to drive into the city or drive back into Queens from Manhattan. Well, sorry, you'll learn with your wallets. Just like how you need a camera on 184th Street. Still need a camera there. I'm sorry. Sorry to say that. Again, Your actions have consequences, and they should hurt you financially. Every dime you make, if you do something bad, or ruin the traffic, or block the box, should have consequences through your wallet. Keep it to the city. Right now, we're not getting any contributions. Now, very quickly, I'll mention also tonight that, besides the spokesperson from the Housing Authority, I will mention that somebody from the Parks Department is going to reveal tonight at the Homeowners Association the date for when the Cunningham Park fireworks will be. And the good thing is, from my house, I can see them. So I'm looking forward to circling down that date and getting my my view, because I don't want to go directly to the park. And who knows, maybe St. John's will have fireworks again. I would love for St. John's to bring back the fireworks. That would be fun if they had another event, because last year they did, and I was able to see them through my house. But again, I would like to talk about the graffiti. You know, thankfully, again, it's getting cleaned up, but, you know, what else are we supposed to do, right? Again, you can always tweet the 107. I forget their handle right now, but I'll leave it in the description below so you can tweet them if you live in the precinct and have a concern. And same with the 105. They also want to hear about your graffiti, and I'm calling out the 111. I'm pulling them out right now. You guys need to look into what 105 and 107 is doing, because right now they're cleaning up the graffiti. Why aren't you guys at 111 looking into the graffiti problems? Literally, it's all over Northern Boulevard. Should not have to be dealing with this. Really shouldn't. We deserve better in Auburndale. We really do. So with that, I'm sorry I ranted, but, you know, I get angry. You know, this is my home. This is my home. I'm from Queens. You all know that. And I hate to see this place burn down. I really do. Thankfully, this brick wall, I've been here for many years. It's still standing. It's still standing. But what if this brick wall isn't here anymore, right? So we don't talk about issues. That's why we have to talk about them. So, that being all said, thank you all for watching this video. Until the next one, please take care.